Good morning, y'all. Well, this is day 149, and we just got dropped off by the Libby's hostel, and Rocky Man and I are headed up the steepest incline on the AT. This is Wildcat D Mountain we're about to go up, and it is 2,000 feet elevation gain over 2 miles, and the word is this is the steepest incline on the entire AT, so it's going to be a doozy for sure. Then after that we go up even to a higher ridge, and that's just Wildcat Mountain. Then we'll go down that to a hut, and then back up to Carter's Dome, and then down to Zeta Pass. And we haven't decided whether we're going to camp somewhere in there or then go back up South Carter Mountain, Middle Carter Mountain, North Carter Mountain to get to Imp Campsite. That's 3 more mountains, but it is a nice campsite beyond those. So we're going to have to just wait and see how our legs hold up. And then tomorrow we'd make it to Route 2, get picked up, and then we'll go back to Libby's and stay again in that hostel. But the big climb is going to be this Wildcat D. It is straight up. Maybe I'll take a picture and put that in the video, show you the steepness of it. It is quite a hill. And it's supposed to be pretty, but it's supposed to be 91 degrees today. It was 91 yesterday. So, you know, water's always an issue, as well as electrolytes. Sometimes we're having trouble finding those little packets, Gatorade, Propel, and Liquid IV, and those things to put in our drinks. I think there's just a lot of people buying those. Or maybe they're just short supply, I don't know. But that's how the day's shaping up. And to be honest, I think there's going to be some great views at the top, but I don't know how far we're going to go today. If we make it all the way to Imp, that's 13 miles. That's a big one. If we stop at Zeta Pass, I think that's about 8 or 9 miles, which is probably more realistic. And it is Sunday, so kind of give the weekly update. Feeling pretty good. My pain in my left buttock has gone away, so I don't know if I just strained it or the ibuprofen took care of that pain. I don't know, but it's gone. Biggest thing is just really just my knees just taking a beating on these descents, and my toes, they seem to be pretty swollen, and that didn't go away, so it's pretty common. There's a lot of guys out here got the same condition, and we talk about that sometimes, whether our socks are too tight or they get wet and they swell in there, just no room for the toes. But otherwise, aches and pains, that's about it. My gear's holding up pretty good. There's a few tears in my pack at this point. I think it's going to hold up, but and the poles that I had to kind of tape together, my trekking poles, they're doing okay too. So the only thing is I'm going to need some tips. The little steel tips at the bottom are almost totally worn off. So I got to find an outfitter and see if I can get somebody to put some new tips in the bottom, because I'm going to need those, well, through New Hampshire for sure, but southern Maine. And I'm pretty grateful that I haven't fallen or had any, well, I've fallen, but had any bad injuries from the falls. There's been 2 or 3 people that have had to get off trail here in New Hampshire because of injuries and various conditions. So I've been very fortunate because it rained a lot and it was very slippery, and I did fall like 3 times in that one day back in the Kinsman's. And I got bruises from it and everything, but nothing horrible. And just grateful for the friendship with Rocky, man. We really kind of hit it off and kind of see eye to eye on these miles and, you know, where we need to be and how to do it and logistics and all that. So that's been a good thing. Very grateful for that. And my wife is holding down the fort back home, the new fort, our house, putting a lot of new stuff together. So I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, all the kids and the rest of the family seem to be doing okay. So that's about it. So yeah, let's get going. Today I'm walking and hiking through the Carter Moriah range of the White Mountains. They're some of the most rugged mountains along the entire Appalachian Trail. There are actually 733 named mountains in the Whites, and geologists believe that this ruggedness was formed by a magma intrusion some 100 to 124 million years ago as the North American plates traveled westward over a location then known as the New England hotspot. These magma intrusions left behind the granite mountains and these cliffs that gives New Hampshire its nickname as the Granite State. Hundreds of millions of years after the mountains were just first formed, they experienced widespread glaciation, which rounded over the peaks and carved out these huge U-shaped valleys. Today, these valleys are known as notches, which includes the famous Pinkham Notch and the Franconian Notch. And now you know the rest of the story. Hey y'all. Well, day 149 is coming to a close, and we did make it here to Imp Shelter. Tough day. Yeah, not the toughest, but it's probably the second or third hardest day I've done. We did that first ascent, which is the most steep incline on the AT, right out of Pinkham Notch. And that was Wildcat D, and then we kind of came down and then went up Wildcat Mountain, and then we went down into the hut there, and we discussed if we were going to try to go to Imp, because if you don't, then you're going to have to carry 3 or 4 liters of water for probably close to 4 or 5 miles, because there's just no water anywhere in this area. Or you don't have to carry as much water, just drink what you need and try to make it to Imp, which is 7.5 miles, and that's what we did. So we made it, but that meant we had to go over Carter Dome, South Carter Mountain, Middle Carter Mountain, and North Carter Mountain, and I think there was one more in there. I can't remember what it was, but oh man, I was fine until the last mountain and getting up over that, and then there was a really, really steep descent, and Gut Hooks talked about how sketchy it was, and it is. It just really takes its toll, especially at the end of the day when my legs and my knees are just tired and they're fatigued and they're hurting, and you just have to be. There were several just ledges, and you just throw your sticks, throw your poles down the hill, and get on your tail and just slide down. That's all I could do, and everybody did that. Was one unfortunate thing today. We heard that there was one of the young kids who was at the hospital last night. He's in his 20s. Shepherd is his name. And he was just hiking downhill, not real steep, but it was obviously rocky and downhill. And he just turned a funny way and he popped his Achilles tendon. And he really could not move. So he kind of hobbled up to the Wildcat Mountain where that gondola was. There's a ski lift, and it was operational today. And they put him on the ski lift and took him off the mountain. But a guy that checked in there said it looked like he had a torn Achilles tendon, which means his hiking is over, basically, until that can be surgically repaired, if it indeed is torn. So that was unfortunate. He started in Georgia, and to be this close and then have that injury worries me as well. And that's why I'm so cautious about, stepping and where looking and how many miles we do and everything. So anyway, fortunate we got here. We're cooking dinner, and we're going to have a really short day tomorrow, only 8 miles back to the highway, and then we'll go back to that hostel and we can get cleaned up again, and then make our next schedule as we move forward. We're going to be in Maine in the next couple of days, though, so it's pretty exciting. So again, thanks for everybody for watching, and I'm grateful for y'all as well. Didn't mention that in my gratefulness today, but yeah, I really am, and all the support. Had a few bad days earlier, and in the rain, and I got a lot of friends out there who knew about that and sent me text messages and things like that. So thanks to everybody for encouraging and supporting and being there with me. So yeah, It's going to rain tonight, so I'm staying in this shelter. It's supposed to really storm. So we'll see you in the morning. Bye, y'all.